but right now it's altcoin collapse. I think you and I both remember about a month or two ago when Bitcoin was knocking on that 30,000 door. Everyone was saying, get ready, load the boat for the all-season move here. This is going to be it, remember? And we know that that did not occur. And if prices haven't moved up at that point, logic dictates that there's no one else to buy. And all it takes in the market is one or two negatives, one or two sellers, and people start panicking and then start dumping it.
Hello and welcome to Crypto Street. In this video, we have the privilege of featuring Gareth Soloway, who will provide valuable insights into the crypto struggle. Today, our focus will be on unraveling the secrets of Bitcoin's future. However, before we delve into our discussion, let's first examine the recent developments in the cryptocurrency market. Price action across the crypto market remains tilted to the downside as investors and businesses digest the consequences of the SEC's charges against Binance and Coinbase exchanges. The lawsuits have had a significant impact on the decentralized financial DeFi markets, with reduced liquidity and major balance decreases in stablecoins, BTC, and Ether. This has prompted Robinhood to delist 3 tokens listed as securities by the SEC, potentially leading to substantial liquidations in the coming weeks. Additionally, crypto prices continue to be highly correlated with the Dow and S&P 500, and major banks still anticipate a sharp recession in the United States in 2023. Now, let's begin our enlightening discussion with Gareth Soloway.
But right now, crypto is what's in the news. Later in the stream, I think we'll get into a little bit more about the Federal Reserve coming up this week, the CPI, PPI data, what that could imply for the all-risk asset markets. But right now, it's altcoin collapse. I think you and I both remember about a month or two ago when Bitcoin was knocking on that 30,000 door. Everyone was saying, get ready, load the boat for the all-season move here. This is going to be it, remember? And we know that that did not occur. And one of the things that I brought forward, which is a very logical way of thinking, is I love to use this this kind of example, which is if you just take a market with 10 people in it, right? And at first, there's no one long a stock or a crypto, but slowly people start buying, right? So when you get to the point where everyone's saying the altcoin season is going to happen, get long, essentially everyone that is long is going to have gotten long. So let's say all 10 people are long. If prices haven't moved up at that point, logic dictates that there's no one else to buy. And all it takes in the market is one or two negatives, one or two sellers, and people start panicking and then start dumping. And so I think any time in the future where you hear like, oh, this is going to happen. And by the way, this is getting into the halving of it too. And I'm a skeptic that this next halving is going to have the impact that the last ones have, because that's all I hear now. Oh, don't worry, the altcoin, don't worry, the halving is coming up. Just be ready for that. And right away, I'm like, that makes me nervous, because then everyone is getting long for that halving process. And it means that, again, who left is to buy. I think regulation, I don't know, Ben, how you feel, but without regulation framework, I think crypto's in a heap of trouble for a period until we get that regulation. I just wanted to show that Bitcoin dominance chart because I think it's such an important chart, how you've been knocking on this 49% level over and over again. And then look at what's happening right here. And one of the things you're mentioning is dead on, is number one, charting as a chartist, which is what I do, is that it tells you the more you knock on a door, the more likely eventually you break through. And so in this case, this door was a firm door stretching back to really 2021, right? And again, I'm big on analogies and examples. Think about this, folks. When you go up to a door, let's say it's locked. Let's say your cat's in there, your house is on fire. You really have to get through that door. You're going to run against it, bam, into it, right? Chances are it's not going to break the first time. You do it again, it might start to crack. You do it again, it cracks a little bit more. By the 4th or 5th hit, that door is going to give way. Think about charts and resistance levels the same way, where you're running against the door. You're running against the door over and over again. Finally, it cracks and breaks to the upside. So I think that gives you that idea. And I think also, in Ben, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think people have to remember that the Bitcoin dominance is a shorter term trend, meaning that if you go back further, I mean, it was way, way higher just before that 2021 bull market. It's not like it just breaks and then comes back down with the alter gain. In general, it's the beginning of a bigger move in Bitcoin dominance that's just starting, which in charting, that's exactly what it is, right? When you hammer on a level over and over again and finally break out, it's not like a breakout of this magnitude. It's usually a much bigger move that's just beginning. And I think that's really important. And I think what you're also saying is that at some point I do crack and come down. And in general, that's not going to be good for the alts, because if you have people getting scared even at the top, the best, I mean, Bitcoin, again, if there's one that's going to survive that's not going to be regulated by the SEC, it's Bitcoin. If that breaks and starts to collapse down, let's say it even gets back to 20,000, very, very hard for money to feel comfortable to go into the even riskier assets like the Cardanos and the Solanas and those other ones as well.
On June 13, the Bitcoin Dominance Index, BTEE, reached 49.29%, slightly down from its two-year highs earlier in the week. The surge in Bitcoin dominance followed the SEC's lawsuit against Binance and Coinbase, where the commission accused leading altcoins like Cardano and Solana of being unregistered securities. Bitcoin's dominance typically rises during high market stress as traders perceive it as the least volatile non-stablecoin crypto asset. This trend was observed during the banking crisis in March 2023 when Bitcoin's dominance versus altcoins rebounded to 50%. However, BTC has struggled to close decisively above the 50% mark since April 2021, often reversing gains due to an overbought weekly relative strength index, RSI. Currently, Bitcoin faces a similar scenario with a retest of the 50% level for the first time since last summer, with its RSI just 2 points below the overbought threshold of 70.
Yeah, so for me at least, specifically with Ethereum, I think the number one thing why it's held up a little bit better is probably I don't believe it was named as a security in that group of list that the SEC said. So I think that gives people confidence. And one of the things I like in Bitcoin too is like Bitcoin is like your digital gold, and Ethereum is kind of like your digital silver, right? And the reason I say digital silver is, number one, it's usually more volatile. Silver is more volatile than gold, and also number two, you have this kind of industrial use case for silver, right? It's a store of safety, but it also is used in the economy. Well, Ethereum, you could argue kind of the same thing. People believe it's kind of a safety hedge, but they also need it. You use it for various transactions and different things as well, like that. So I think that's one of the keys for me, is that you have digital gold and silver, and so expect it to be more volatile. But in looking at the chart, I just want to show my chart real quick on Ethereum, and then we'll get right into kind of what you were saying, is that in terms of the Ethereum versus Bitcoin. But what we could see is, look at this beautiful like parallel lines, and how in terms of charting, and by the way, this is just more proof that you don't know why these things work out. I certainly don't, but there's some sort of subconscious in traders and investors and people's minds that tries to make sense out of chaos, right? So most of the people would look at this, oh, this is a wild chart, but look at how many parallels exist within this chart. Like the high, this is parallel to these points, which then are this parallel to these points, and vice versa all the way down here. And we could see that we did break down short term. So I do expect Ethereum to come in here towards this 1635 level. But now that then becomes the support level, the next level, right? You have the lowest point here going back to 2022, connected through these lows right through here. And that now becomes your technical support. So if we do sell off there as a technician, I would start saying, okay, if we're going to bounce, this is going to be the spot where we're going to get a bounce. Doesn't mean Ethereum's bottoming by any stretch, but that would just be a technical short-term level of support. Now, if we just quickly go to Ethereum, Bitcoin, let's take a look at that in terms of Bitcoin. A couple things, and again, this is just based on purely charting, and I'm just going to do this live as we take a look. But this would be something that I would be watching like a hawk, right? So there's a trend line here that you're hovering on. If this breaks, you then probably have downside into this level down here. And so that to me would be something that we would pay attention to. I don't know if you have, your thoughts on this, but I would love to actually hear your thoughts on this, Ben, in terms of what you're seeing.
Considering historical patterns, if history repeats itself, Bitcoin's dominance is likely to decline toward 39% by late 2023 or early 2024. However, there is also a possibility of a breakout, which would be crucial for Bitcoin to reach levels not seen in over 2 years. Analyst Crypto Rover envisions a classic bullish continuation setup, with 52% being the next major hurdle if this scenario materializes.
So this is great, because it does clear out kind of like all that stuff and just says, okay, what does the chart tell us? So just like we said, this was consolidating, kept on hitting resistance, finally in the process of breaking out right here on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Now, in all fairness, there's not a lot of resistance on the way up now. I mean, you're getting to a point where there's a big move coming in this Bitcoin dominance. And the first thing I see and I'll put a trend line in. See all these kind of pivot points right in here, right across here, this low right in there. And you're right about that. Look at this. Look at how you kind of can draw a line right across here. And what's even more amazing in this, if you take the highs of Bitcoin dominance from 2017 and you connect it to the highest point in 2021, look at the convergence of those two trend lines. And this, again, I love how your data is confirmed by my data and it's vice versa, because it really, I think that's very powerful when you see a confluence of these type of things. And so I'm right around that 59-60% level in terms of Bitcoin dominance. Absolutely.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate your support and engagement. Your insights on the future direction of the world of cryptocurrencies are highly valued. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.